This is the value sketch which you see on the screen on the left hand side. That's we are going to paint today. And let's start with the drawing part. That's the outline. And I'll extend this a bit. Okay, now the first slope goes like this. And the second one, I don't want them to be parallel. So the second one goes like this. And the mountain in the back is something like this. And then these are the large bunch of trees. And maybe a smaller tree here. And it's casting a shadow like this. Maybe there is one more here, a bunch, a few trees, and they are casting a shadow like this. And obviously, the shadow of these trees will not be seen because it will go out. And so it's a very simple kind of a landscape, no complexities involved. Now let's start painting. And I haven't used Prussian blue for a long time for many of my recent paintings. So I'll be using Prussian blue. I'll be using chrome yellow, which you see here, burnt sienna, white, yellow ochre. Maybe I think this will need yellow ochre. So I will decide whether I need to use chrome yellow or not. Maybe a few hints of that should be enough. And let me get some white. Oops. I spilled water on the desk. Give me a few minutes. I think today is not a great day for live session. Anyway, we will do it. I just need to get rid of this water from here. Give me a few minutes. And I'll need to get my water bottle filled again because I don't have otherwise water to paint with. So give me a few more minutes. Okay, so I'm back. And let me start with the large brush. So I'll start using the Prussian blue. I'll mix it and make it into a dark green. So that's Prussian blue. And I'll use yellow ochre to make a dark green, and some vermilion to make it darker. And let's start painting these. Let me first get the edge correct. And I'll add some more blue in it to make it darker. And even though I had sketched it like this, I'm not following that drawing. I'm keeping it, I'm painting as I think is appropriate right now. And this tree and the trees here will be slightly lighter in value. So let's see. Yes. Let me make it a bit more. And now let's add a stroke of darker color near the bottom of these trees. Okay. Now I need to paint the sloping hills. So I'll start with yellow ochre. There's a lot of water here because of the spill. Adding white to it and some burnt sienna. And let's see how this goes. And I don't mind right now if this green color kind of flows into it. Let's add some burnt sienna to it, make it darker, and a hint of blue to darken it up. Now I'll let this dry a bit, and by that time I can come and paint this. It'll be a similar color, but it'll be much lighter. And I'm showing the light is coming in from this side, so I'll have to paint the trees lighter on this side. But let me start with this. Let's see what is the value difference. Doesn't look much different, so I'll add some more blue and some more white. That's too much of blue in it. Yeah, I think this is a nice color. This is the nice thing about large brush or brushes is that you can paint large strokes also with it, and you can paint thin strokes also with it. Once you get the control of it, it's very nice. And I'll warm up this hill on this side by adding a bit of yellow ochre. And yeah, now let's paint the sky. The sky, I will start with white and add the blue to it because otherwise it'll be too blue. So starting with white and a hint of blue. Prussian being very high tinting strength color, it has already made the color a lot more bluish than I would have liked. But I think that's nice. It's a nice color. I'll go with it. And this, from the look of it, the painting is tending towards a more stylized landscape than a realistic landscape, which is not a bad thing. Just that it's a different look. We paint these. We divide this into two smaller peaks of trees so that I get more space for the sky. Yeah. Now let me take a short break in terms of painting, not looking at the painting. So I'm looking at the painting and trying to see what is it that needs to be added. And I kind of like this effect of one color merging into or kind of gradating into other, which is difficult if you use very thick gouache. So this is an advantage of using watercolors and gouache white, that sometimes it behaves like watercolor when you want it to, and when you want it also behaves like gouache colors. So you have kind of best of both worlds, so to say. So now let me start by adding lighter greens the to the side of the tree which is lit by the sun. So I'm not using any other yellow. I'm continuing to use this yellow ochre, and let's see how it goes. And this color is yet not very dry, so it's kind of not mixing, or rather mixing into each other, which is also nice. It doesn't have to be completely dry. That's the beauty of painting wet in wet. Let's go on adding this light. here, and here I'll have to kind of make it slightly darker, even though it's lighter version of green. I don't want it to be as light as this because these trees are at a distance. So very subtle change in value and also color. And it's kind of now looking nice. Let's see if I add a bit of chrome yellow or gamboge in a few places. How will it be? I think it's not necessary, just a hint in some places. Now let me switch to a smaller brush. I want to get rid of the white areas here. So I'll start painting this dark green again. I'll add burnt sienna to this blue to make it darker. I had added red, that also is fine, and burnt sienna is also fine. So this is like adding those few details. And the darks here will not be as dark as this, so I've kind of stopped using this color in that area. And in a way, it's good that these colors haven't yet dried. And now I'll use a middle value dark to paint here. Just making them slightly thicker towards the top, otherwise they might end up looking like pillars and not trees. Now let's paint their shadows. So the shadow will be a darker version of this. So I'll start with yellow ochre, add burnt sienna, and I also need to add a tinge of blue so that it becomes dark. But I don't want it to be, this is too wet. The water spill is still causing an issue. So yellow ochre, burnt sienna, and a hint of blue. I still want to make it brown and not green. So more burnt sienna. So the sun is not parallel to this. I think I have inadvertently painted it slightly towards on the other side. So the shadows now, because I painted this shadow this way, these shadows also will fall slightly towards this side, if not much, something like this. So these will still catch some direct light, but the shadows, instead of being completely parallel to the painting plane, they'll be slightly at an angle. Now I'll use this color itself to create some, paint some texture, because this color is still dry, not dry, it's still wet. I want to modify the edge of this shadow to suggest some grass on the slope. Now I'm using a very thin version of this color to suggest some texture. I don't want to do, or I don't want to overdo this, but I need some texture here. And this has to be darker here. Similarly, this also will have to have some texture. So let's see what, how we can do that. Let me try out another brush. I have not even dipped it in water because I want it to be, want to use it like this. So let's see. It should be able to create the texture. As I said, this is less like a realistic landscape painting and more like a stylized illustration because of the simplicity. And the area here is looking very confusing, in the sense there's not much value difference. So I want to reduce that so that it becomes slightly more obvious that there is a, this is a different mountain or a hill. I'm kind of merging these two colors. So now it looks more like an arid atmosphere in which only the large trees have some greenery left in them. Otherwise, all the grass and smaller shrubs have gone dry. Now let's see what do we add here. I think the sky needs a bit of variation. So let's take some white. Maybe take some more from here because I need clean white and thick white. And let's paint or suggest some clouds. I just applied this green white color and directly from the tube, and just to give a hint of some gray color at the bottom, I'm mixing these two colors, which is this brown and this blue. This will, or this should give me a gray. And I will use that on this side of the cloud, underside of the cloud rather, so that I can suggest some shadow there. And now let me come in with more white. I think that's enough. And I need to suggest something here, at least a hint of a faraway mountain. Otherwise, it's looking too illustration like, which is not bad, but I don't want it to. Yeah, that gives, that helps. That gives some more depth to the painting. And it's been a quite unusual kind of a painting as compared to the paintings which I've been doing in these live sessions. And this dark has to be slightly lighter because it is at a distance. Yeah. Yes, I guess. I guess I can stop here. Let me give a quick redrawing of the outline. And I'm thinking if I should add anything on this mountain. Maybe, just maybe. Let's see if I can add a few trees here. Let's see what is the value of this color. I obviously don't want it to be very dark. Yeah, this looks okay to me. I kind of like what effect it's creating. So I will continue even here. It's a hint of these trees being there on this mountain. The brushwork and the color are together creating that suggestion. Yes, you see it lighter here because of the reflection. The paper hasn't yet recovered from the water spilling. I think I should stop here. Otherwise, and stopping is also important when to stop. Otherwise, paintings tend to get complex and complex. So I think that's it for today. If you are watching on YouTube and have not yet subscribed, do hit the subscribe button. If you are watching this on Facebook page, then please follow the page so that you get notified about the upcoming live sessions or any new videos released. And if you have missed any of the previous live session, attending previous live sessions, then you should find or you will find a link to the playlist in the description. I'll put that link in the video description in a few minutes, but you should find it there, or you can go to my channel and you will find it there in the playlist section, live session recordings, and you can watch that and paint these paintings yourself. You just need a sketchbook, watercolors, and a gouache. That's it. So, thank you and see you next time. Bye.